Hey everybody, and welcome into another edition of Make Every Second Count Live. Now, I am Jeff Marconette Jr., your host and international Make Every Second Count speaker, and I'm very, extremely excited about tonight. We have my good friend Amy S. Wallace, all the way from somewhere. I don't know. I'll let her introduce herself. But first of all, I want to tell you that here on this program, we're here every Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And we come to you in order to help you and help you live your best life. Because you see, when I was 17, I was involved in a car accident that nearly ended my life. Now, this car accident left me in the hospital 3.5 months, and I was in a coma 2.5 months. So I have this mindset now that every day I wake up is a great day. And that is exactly what we want to teach people on this show. So please, if you would, share this video out, invite other people to watch this, post this video in as many groups as you can. Just make it go viral. All right. Now, I would like to introduce you to Amy S. Wallace, and I love her hair, by the way.
Hi.
What's up, Amy?
Thanks, Jeff. You certainly make me smile.
Yeah. Well, I'm happy to hear that. So I am going to be inviting people. So for a minute here, and I'm gonna lose this hat because it's getting all hot, and I don't know. But
all right,
please go ahead and introduce yourself.
I am Amy S. Wallace. I am all the way from Springfield, Missouri. I am a single mother of the 3 most amazing humans in the world, in my humble opinion. A one-time grandma, and I have my second grandbaby going to be here in July. I'm also a professional wedding officiant, life and love coach, and an inspirational storyteller. So I'm so excited to be here. So excited. I love your energy, Jeff. I love connecting with you. So I'm excited.
Thank you so much. So I don't know. I guess we're just gonna go ahead and get into the show here because I'm obsessed with your hair, but I love short hair. So, oh well.
Thanks. Lucky for me then.
Yeah. So I would like. Oh, first of all, I forgot that you said you're from Springfield, Missouri.
Yes.
And I will actually be speaking at an event in Missouri, in just outside St. Louis, I think.
Okay.
Like, is there an Overland Park or something?
Oh, that's outside of Kansas City.
Oh, all right. Well, I will be there. Are you close to there?
Well, my daughter is right there, like 5 minutes from Overland Park.
Well, y'all should come over and meet me. I would absolutely love
You'll have
that.
to let me know when you're going to be in the area.
All right. I will send you the information when I get it. All right?
Okay.
All right, cool. So I have to ask Amy, what is all right. Is there anything that you have gone through in your life that made your worst year actually your best year?
Yes. So I'll tell you a little story. When I was let's see, how old was I? I was 20 years old, and I was in college. I was going to my college algebra class, and it was a beautiful spring day in April. And I was driving down the highway singing. I love to sing. I'm not great at it, but I sure love to do it. So
Yes, so do
driving
I.
driving down the highway singing along to Reba McEntire. And I decided to place my hand on my throat and feel the sensation of my voice box vibrating as I sang. So that day when I placed my hand on my throat, what I actually felt was what felt like a golf ball sitting on top of my collarbone.
Ooh.
And I hadn't seen that before. So I went to class and I was asking my friends, I was like, hey, do you see something on my neck? And everybody was like, whoa, yeah, what is that? So I went and showed my parents and said, can you see this thing on my neck? And they said, yeah, what is that? And, no one knew. And my mom said, if that doesn't go away, I want you to go see a doctor. And I said, well, I think it's probably a swollen sweat gland, probably no big deal. So it didn't go away. So a week later, I went and saw a doctor, and he asked me a couple of questions. He said, well, have you been tired lately? And I said, well, yeah, I'm taking 18 credit hours in college. And incidentally, I was a single mom with twin daughters who were about a year and a half old. So I said,
2 years old?
yeah. I'm like, yeah, I'm tired. I have 2 babies. I'm taking 18 credit hours in college. I'm tired. And he said, okay, well, have you lost any weight recently? And I said, I have twin daughters. They're a year and a half old. I've lost a lot of weight. He said, have you been sick, running fevers, anything like that? And I said, no. And he said, well, I don't think it's mono, so we can rule that out. And he said, do you have cats? And I said, nope. And he said, well, then it wouldn't be cat scratch fever. And I said, no, it's definitely not cat scratch fever. So then he said, let me ask you one last question, Amy. He said, have you been sweating at night? And I said, oh my gosh, I knew it was a swollen sweat gland. I knew it. Yeah, like, yes, I've been sweating buckets at night, like tremendous amount of sweating at night. And he said, well, unfortunately, I think you have Hodgkin's disease, and the sweating is a final stages symptom. So I want to get you, based on the size of that tumor, I would like to get you into a biopsy right away. So 2 days later, I was having a biopsy done. And when they opened it up to biopsy, what looked like a golf ball was more the size of a grapefruit. So they just closed it back up. And I remember riding home with my mom after that surgery. My parents, of course, were there. And I was riding home with my mom after the surgery. And I said, Mom, what did they say? And she said, not much, Amy. And I recall my mom clearly sitting in the car, just very stoic, looking forward, her hands at like 10 and 2. And I'm like, but what did they say? Not much, Amy. And I said, well, were they optimistic or were they pessimistic? And she said, well, they weren't very optimistic. And come to find out, what they said to my parents was, we suggest that you make some memories with her. So fast forward just a little bit, 100 tests.
Time out. I gotta ask.
Okay.
How do you think that made your parents feel? What did that do to your parents at that time, to see them going through what they were going through, watching you go through what you were going through?
Well, I don't think they had watched me go through anything yet, because it was so early stages. But it scared my parents, excuse the pun, to death. I was their baby. Like, I'm my daddy's sunshine. Like that, to have someone say I'm going to be around for 3 more months was, I can tell you this, my parents had been divorced since I was 7, and they couldn't even be in the same room or building with each other since that divorce. And they embraced that evening, like all of those things that we think are important, suddenly in those moments just shatter and collapse. So, it's all of a sudden everyone is vulnerable, right? So I think my parents were scared out of their minds and feeling very vulnerable and like, what can we do? So the thing is, we started seeing doctors right away, and there weren't any doctors that wanted to treat me. Like, they all felt like I was too far in the stages, and we kept hearing, we may prolong her life, but we're going to also destroy what life she has left because she's going to be so sick. And, they just didn't feel positive at all in even treating me. And so my parents are very stubborn, which that apple doesn't fall far from the tree, if you know what I mean. So we, on doctor number 7, we found a doctor who, Dr. Charles Morgan, he's absolutely amazing. And he said, I feel good about this. I think we can do it. Not only will I treat the cancer. Did I say I had Hodgkin's disease? I was in the final stages of Hodgkin's disease. So, he said, Hodgkin's disease is one of those good ones. If you're going to have one, you might as well have Hodgkin's disease. I think, we can be optimistic in treating this. And so Dr. Morgan was brilliant beyond. And he told me in the very early days, he said, I'm going to give you enough medicine, treatment, if you will, to kill you. Maybe at times make you wish you were dead. Your attitude is going to determine if you live or die. And so I was 20 and I really didn't understand what was going on. Like I said, I was a single mom with 2 babies, and the idea of leaving them, it was like all super overwhelming. But every week I would come in and we would do blood work, and then we would do x-rays. And an hour later, I would meet him in the room, and he would say, Amy, how was your week this week? It looks like you had a good week, or it looks like you had a bad week. And he always knew if I'd had a good week or a bad week. Do you want to talk about it? Do you want to tell me about it? And so then he would turn that little light on that, that box on the wall where they put the x-rays. He would turn that light on and show me where, in fact, my tumors had either shrank or grown or were made the same. And they were always in correlation to what kind of week I had. So I did chemo 5 hours a day, twice a week, every Thursday and Friday. And so he would always know from Thursday to Thursday if I had been feeling sorry for myself and struggling or having a hard time, or if I had been positive and had a good attitude about, whatever, life or surviving. So in the early days of this, and I thought that's cool, but it wasn't clicking with me what was actually happening, which was that I actually did have the power to live or die in that instance. So, but at some point in the process, I had a lot of other things going on. It wasn't as simple as I just had cancer. So, in that process, there came a time that I was like, okay, I don't want to do this anymore. I had decided that God had this plan for me, and that the reason that I knew when I was in high school and got pregnant with twins, that there was a reason I was pregnant. There was no question in my mind that I was divinely pregnant, which a lot of people were like, you're absolutely nuts. You're not divinely pregnant as a senior in high school. But I knew that there would be that the reason I was pregnant would be revealed at some point. And so I had decided that God let me have the girls, and God gave me 2 babies at one time my senior year in high school, because he knew I wanted to be a mother so bad and I was going to die young. So I got to have that experience. So I went to Dr. Morgan and I said, listen, I have a new plan. My sister has always been perfect. She's married. She has a career. She's better than me. I think she would be a better mother. So I'm going to give up. I think that what I'm supposed to do is stop treatments and let this go. And Dr. Morgan said, yeah, I don't think so. Let me give you another thing to think about. And, so he sent me home and said, I want you to think about it. And so I went home and the girls were sitting on the floor. They were sitting like on their knees, shoulder to shoulder, watching Winnie the Pooh. If y'all don't know that song, it is imprinted in my brain forever. Pooh Bear, Winnie the Pooh Bear. Yeah. Watching Winnie the Pooh as they did every single day. And I laid on the couch behind them and I began to pray. And I had always been really timid in my approach to God. Like, I thought if I was pleasing and sweet, that's how I would get what I wanted. So this time I went at prayer a little different. This time it went a little something like, all right, look, dude, I don't want any like sweet whispers in the wind, no, gentle voices, none of that. Like, you need to give me a clear sign that I cannot argue with. Tell me what to do in this moment. Do I keep fighting this fight? Like, am I supposed to be their mother, or my sister be better as their mother? Like, what do I do? Do I keep fighting this fight? Is it time to give up? Like, what do I do? And I was like, make it loud, make it clear. And in that moment, my girls, once sitting shoulder to shoulder, now turned around and looked at me, now cheek to cheek without making a sound. And they looked at me like, not like you're looking at me like right now, but they looked at me like into me and touched my soul. And in that moment, I swear, like the air parted, everything got still in a way it had never been before. I was planted on the back of that couch in a way I had never been before. And with deafening silence, I knew exactly what I was going to do. I was going to be their mother, right? They were my babies. I was going to be their mother. I was not only going to fight this fight, but I was going to live. And as a matter of fact, in that moment, something happened where my life switched from one that I was surviving to one that I was living. So I asked, I was open to receive, and grace just began to show up. So the very next day, I was gifted a book. I have one laying next to me everywhere I'm at. Louise Hay's book, You Can Heal Your Life. This isn't my original. My original is actually behind me somewhere. But I was gifted the book by Louise Hay, You Can Heal Your Life. And I spent 4 weeks going through that book and working every exercise and really learning to fall in love with myself.
All right.
And
I don't want to interrupt you, but I have to here for a minute. So
interrupt me.
We actually have quite a few people watching, and they are really feeling your story, and they're appreciating your honesty and openness about your story. So first of all, I want to say hi to Maria, who is watching from Massachusetts. Hi to Casey. And Maria said, wow, the mind is a powerful thing. Yes, it truly is. And then Casey asked, she asked, what kind of cancer did you have? And I wanted to ask, is Hodgkin's disease the same thing as Hodgkin's lymphoma?
Yes. Yeah. So it's a lymphatic cancer. Mm-hmm.
All right. And then Maria is asking, how old were your kids at the time?
So my kids were 1.5 years old. They turned 2. I don't know exactly the month, but they turned 2 in August. I started treatments in April. They turned 2 in August. So they were 20 months old.
Yes. And then we have Lady Rochelle Dotson Matheny watching, and she says, I felt that love because I know she's had breast cancer and she is a survivor. So, and then Maria says, hey again. So I just wanted to thank everybody so much for watching. And I know that Ashley Collins was watching with us and she shared the video out. I don't know who else has shared the video, but I ask you guys, please share this video out. There's somebody that needs to hear Amy's story, somebody that is possibly thinking of giving up, somebody that is just going to throw their fight in or throw a white towel in on their fight. And I don't want them to do that. I want them to continue to fight. So please share this video with all kinds of people. In fact, what you can do is tag people in the comments and they will be able to see that you tag them in the comments. So if you know anybody that we can help, please, 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 I beg of you, help them out by sending them this show.
Yeah. Jeff, you mentioned that there are people that may be in that space of ready to give up. And that just gave me chills all over my entire body. As many times as I tell this story, for some reason, I feel like I was the only person that's ever wanted to give up. And I know that's not true. So yeah, that is why I do what I do. That is why I share this story. And I know a lot of times I have family say, why do you continually share this story? Because I know that someone needs to hear it. I know that it can save someone's life and give them hope. That's why. So
that is awesome.
Thank you.
Now, I want to point out that Casey said here that she's glad that you are a survivor because her mom lost her life to cancer. And I know Casey really well, and she's an awesome person, and she is really putting herself out there. So I just want to thank you so much, Casey. But we'll get back to your story, Amy. I'm sorry for interrupting.
No, don't be sorry.
Important to me that I told everybody that please share this out.
Yes. So I was just saying that, while I was asking for grace, right? And I was open to receive it in that moment. And immediately grace began to show up. So Louise Hay's book showed up. And I learned what Dr. Morgan was doing every time that he would say, this is what your tumors look like last week, and this is what your tumors look like this week. Like, finally, I was able to really make that connection. It was like a click. So I was like, oh yeah, my mind and what I'm thinking and my perspective, my perception of what is going on, and my attachment to the survival or my attachment to the living. So I started saying things like, what do I love to do? Like, I'd gotten so wrapped up in being a mom and having cancer, and I identified with all of these things, but I lost the identity in me at some point. So I started asking, like, what do I love to do? What brings me joy? And I love the Texas swing. So suddenly on Thursday nights, I would do chemo for 5 hours on Thursdays. And it used to be that I would come home and be extremely sick and then wake up on Friday and go do chemo and be extremely sick for days. But this dance partner just showed up out of nowhere and said, you want to dance on a Thursday night? And I started dancing every Thursday night after chemo. I wasn't throwing up anymore. I wasn't taking pain medication anymore. I had really transitioned from a goal of surviving to a goal of living. I was alive today. I was going to live today. The girls and I lived with my father at the time. And, I was in a place where I could barely give them a bath by myself. My grandmother came and helped take care of them every day. And all of a sudden it was like, we can do this on our own. And we got our own apartment. I was bathing my daughters again. It's like this tiny little perception from a determination to survive to a determination to live completely changed my life. Completely. Oh, I'm here. That was 28 years ago. So,
yeah. And I know from talking to you the other day that how long did you say that they gave you to live?
3 months. Yeah.
3 months that
Mhm.
that they gave you to live.
Yeah.
What would you tell somebody that has been given a diagnosis like of you have 3 months to live, you have 6 months to live? What would you tell somebody that has received a diagnosis like that?
Well, I mean, the first thing is nobody has any idea how many days or months or years you have to live. Nobody knows that. Like, no one can tell you that. No one can determine that for you. And really, like, what you have, the time that you have to live is right this second. It's right now. So make the most out of right now because even Dr. Morgan, I said, well, what if I do this 10 months of treatment and then I walk out of here and get hit by a bus? And he said, Amy, there's nothing I can do to prevent that, or, there's nothing I can do to change that. Your life is going to be what it is. Your journey is going to end when it's over. And, we can do what we can do here to prolong that. We don't have to give up on it right now. So, yeah, nobody knows. I really do believe that in a lot of ways, and I hesitate to say this because I always get pushed back, but you get to determine how long you live. And you may live a lifetime and you may be alive for a lifetime. You may grow to be 100 years old, but never have lived your life.
Yes. Now, I want to point out that Maria here, she's an awesome person, and she's actually the toeless runner. She has no toes, and she still runs. But she said that life can change in the blink of an eye. That is why when I hear Jeff say, make every second count, because you don't know when your last second will be. So I thank you, Maria. I really do appreciate all the support you have given me, and I want to support other people, and that's why I have this show, because I want to help other people, and by I can sell books. Yeah, my book will help people. I can go and speak to people. Yes, that will help people. But this show gives me the platform that I can reach out to people and reach them in their own way. I don't have to go out and do what I do best. And that could be my thing, but that might not be their thing.
Right.
So I can reach them in their own way. And that's what I love about having a show. So
I love it. I love that you have it, and I'm so excited to be on it. I just got a message from my daughter, Jeff, who said she's trying to comment, and she tried to add you as a friend so she could comment.
All right. What's her name?
Alexis.
Alexis what? Oh, well, you better not tell me that over this. So, hold on.
She said she shared the video and she wants to say something.
All right, hang on. Let's see if I can figure out how to find my dang friend requests.
Technology.
Yeah.
Oh, she said my other daughter, her twin, also messaged you, Erica.
Erica. All right, cool. They're twins?
Yeah, twins.
Man, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Do they both have short hair?
No.
Then,
Alexis hers isn't as short as mine. It's kind of short, but Erica is still determined she's going to grow hers. But
bummer. I should not have accepted their friendship then, because they don't have your hair.
Oh, kind of close. They're super adorable.
All right. Well, that's cool. I'm glad to hear that. I accepted both of them, so they'll be able to comment now.
Awesome.
So, what was the toughest thing for you when you were trying to overcome all this stuff?
Oh, the toughest thing for me. I think one of the hardest things that actually gets overlooked is, you kind of alluded to it earlier, is like, how did my parents feel watching me go through that? So I think, as the person that has it, and at my age, I also think like the demographic in which I had cancer is kind of a lost demographic. We don't fit the child cancer, and we're not quite adults. So we're kind of out there on our own, kind of wavering on our own. We don't really fit anywhere because it's a small demographic. Um, so that was a little strange. It was hard to relate to people, but I figured that out. The hardest part was, I knew how scared the people that loved me were. And so I was trying to always stay strong for them, which made it hard for me to actually experience what I was going through. So I think that is part of what led to me getting to that place of like, I just can't do this anymore, because I was trying to carry everything that all of my own fear. And,
Yeah.
so that was hard. That was a hard part.
Yeah. So, how all right, we're gonna ask your daughter's question now, because I see here that Alexis said, "Thanks for the ad, Jeff. Excited I get to comment. Hi, Mom. I love you."
I
So
love you.
I'm curious, Alexis, how did you understand what was going on at that age? How did it affect you? And did you try to act in any way different because your mom was sick? So we'll wait for her to answer that. But
I'm like, I'll answer. Just like a mom.
yeah, but so I'm just curious, what you would tell somebody else that was going through something like this or something not like this. I mean, all kinds of people are going through all kinds of things, especially right now with the whole COVID thing and the quarantine thing, that a lot of people are suffering with mental problems at the present moment, or loss of jobs, loss of residency, loss of all kinds of things, even family members. So how can your situation help out other people?
So I would say, no matter what your cross to bear is, if you will, no matter what it is that you're going through, it's valid, right? Everything that you're dealing with is valid. Not only what you're dealing with, but you as an individual are valid. You are a magical gift that is on this planet at this particular time for a special reason. Who you are right now, without any, you don't have to change one single thing about you. You are a gift to this world, and this world needs your gift, your special gift, which your special gift gets to just be your existence. So we all need your existence. Like that, you're special, you're valuable, you're important, you're freaking magical and amazing. Every single one of you.
Yes. So I want to point out here that your other daughter, Erica, said, "Hi, Mama." And
Hi,
then
Barry.
Alexis said, to be honest, at that age, I only remember happy things. She always did her best to surround us with love, especially for our birthdays. Now, I know that, like, say when I was in the hospital and I was laying there unresponsive because I was in a coma. And my parents would always tell everybody no negativity.
Mm-hmm.
That they would not allow negativity into the room because my parents, especially my dad, knows that can affect somebody.
Mm-hmm.
So how can what is the number one way, you in your opinion, that someone stays in a positive mindset instead of a negative mindset, or a growth mindset instead of a not growth mindset?
Well, I know that, like, so for me, I would allow myself to cry in the shower. I had a place that I could just let it all out. And then I had to come back around to, and remember, there's no perfection in this, especially when you're going through something like that, because there were days that I was like, this sucks. And I'm just going to sit in this sucks. So I have always told my kids, it's fine to feel that. It's actually even fine to sit there for a little while. It's not okay to live there. So you have to recognize when you're like, okay, all I hear out of my mouth and in my head are negativity, negative self-talk, criticism, judgment. Anytime you're living in that world, you're expressing that and giving that. So I would just say, like we said earlier, we don't know how long we have. So there's two ways you can approach it. I could have cancer and feel sorry for myself the whole time I had cancer, and I wouldn't be here talking to you right now. Or I could have cancer and say, well, I have cancer, but I also can walk and I can talk and find the things that I could do. I also have two babies that are, amazing, and I love them. And, for every bad thing I had, I could find three good things. And that's one of the things, like, if you're going to complain, if you're going to say something bad, you have to say three good things following it. So that would be my thing. Like, there's always something to be grateful for.
Yes,
Always.
yes. That is a fantastic point, and that is actually a perfect segue to a little break we have here in the show, because there's something I like to do on this show.
Yes.
Now, I have to tell you guys about my journal. My journal is called Make Every Second Count, a 1,500-hour journal. And it actually has room to write in it. Each week during those 9 weeks is on a different subject, and it helps gain perspective on situations, and it helps you live with more gratitude, just what Amy was just saying, and it helps you develop long-term goals on your life. So I would like you guys to go to www.jeffmarconette Jr. That is JEFFMarconette Junior JR.com/journal, and you can actually download the first 7 days of that journal. So that's going to include 7 entries and 1 activity, because there's an activity at the end of each week. And if you like it, let me know. And if you like it, you can also buy the entire journal there. And I know people in this, viewers in on this podcast right now, have bought it for their kids. So it's definitely worth the money. And I look forward to hearing from each of you about what you are thankful for, what you want to accomplish in life. And I really hope that you take something away from this episode.
Yes.
And if you're watching the replay, tell me, put hashtag replay in the comments. And if you want to, tell me where you're from, because I can see where everybody is from. And yeah, I know where you're from, Maria. But I just want to say thank you so much, Amy. I'm so happy that you were here, that you are still here, that you are trying to help other people through their situation, because this world is not a place where everybody gets the support they need.
Mm-hmm.
And there's people out there like you that are there to help.
Yeah.
And I find that completely awesome.
Jeff, before we go, I have to say, in the beginning, I said I'm the mother of 3 amazing humans. So my story would not be complete if I didn't tell you that 7 years after I had a little miracle baby that they told me I would not ever be able to have children again. So I have a son. So I have to mention Andrew.
Yeah, don't leave him out. He'll be mad.
I can't.
Yeah, and if I see an Andrew Wallace or anything that comes up like a friend request, I'll have to accept that too.
He probably won't pop on, but I just wouldn't feel right if I didn't at least acknowledge him. So.
Oh, well, I'm glad you did, because I don't want him being angry.
No.
But I want to say thank you to everybody out there that shared this out, that liked this, that commented. And I definitely just want to thank Amy again. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You don't understand. And I really appreciate it, guys. But I remind you that I'm on every Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And I would like you to check me out, to check my show out, to ask questions, to comment, to like, do all that kind of stuff, because I really do appreciate that. But I need you guys to do me a favor this week, next week, and for the rest of your life. I need you to make every second count. Why? Because you never know when the last second is going to be. Hey, thank you guys so much. Have a fantastic night. And I'll see you back here next Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time.